From what I have heard coming forth, this was another max from Two Broke Girls that has entered my home at 6:22 a.m. Um, she claimed to be related to the Savions, and blood work has been done since she was arrested and headed towards Inward, which was at 10:12 a.m. this morning, and she has been found to not be related to the Sevions due to the blood work that has been completed and finalized just now. She is not related to the Sevions. She is Max from Two Broke Girls. But she has been in contact with the Sevions um, in order to continue the attack. Right now, she is inward, and another driver was hired to take my son to the garage, and they currently at the second garage. They are not at the first garage. They're at the second garage. They left the second garage at about 10 a.m. Um, they're now at the second garage. They are not at the first garage. I was on my way to Alton Towers when I saw the both of them pass, and they were on their way to the second garage in Windsor, Ontario. That's where the second garage is. Yeah, and that's where they are now. Not at the first garage, no. Yeah, they're not at the first garage, which is literally not even half an hour from the house, no. They're not there. They're 2 hours away, which is in Windsor. Yeah. No, usually in the summertime, anyways, he's mostly at the second garage, which is in Windsor, which is why he ends up not coming home until about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at nighttime, is because he's usually at the second garage in Windsor. And that's what causes him to approach and be home by 9 p.m., 10 p.m. Yeah. No, they just began cleaning up the winter stuff. He was just waiting for him to be done school, and he's now officially completely graduated. He's no longer in the 12th grade. He is out, and so he can move a little bit faster. Yeah. So he was just waiting. There wasn't a lot left for them to do at the first garage, which is half an hour, almost not even half an hour from the house. There's just more for them to do at the second garage because he barely gets to spend the time there because he wants to be at home, well, within a drive's reach, basically, if anything were to happen. Yeah. Yeah, that's what they're doing right now is they're using the big rig to drive all of the stuff up from the Windsor garage into the first garage, so that he can be at home a lot closer. And he only said that would only take him 2 days to do that. Yes, because what we have to do here at the first garage is he has to wait until the date for to deliver the property to be torn down. Yes, so he just has to wait to do that at the first garage, and right now the first garage is cleared of all properties, and they're picking up other properties at the Windsor garage to bring to the first garage. So they're not going to be too far for too long, no. No, I'm writing it into the calendar, but the space is very short and very limited. It only gives enough for the hour time frame. So you know how there is two halves to an hour and there's four 15 minutes. It only gives me enough to report for the four 15 minutes. Yeah, it doesn't give me enough to report for the 60 minutes of the hour. It doesn't do that. Yes, a quadrant of two reports or a quadrant of four in 50, two reports in half an hour or a quadrant of four every 15 minutes. Yeah, I'm talking to Doug Hennessy, and he's Asian. Yeah, Doug Hennessy. I saw two people walking in the backyard since I returned beginning at 12:03, and then 7 minutes later there was a second person who walked in the backyard jumping the fence. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they jumped the fence. Yeah. One entered through the gate. One entered through the gate on the side of 65 Ingram Road. They entered on that side of the gate and they walked right by my bedroom window, which we have always seized as intentional to attack. Exactly. No, it was Peter Scott that I saw. Peter Scott was on his way off the property to change out of uniform, and Peter Scott is now currently in the house, and he's transferring the female. So I believe he said there should be about an hour and a half before another female is transferred in, and Peter Terry will be transferring in the second female. About an hour and a half. Yeah. Right now we're dealing with females who have performed, beginning in the very beginning of the tour of Who Are You Running From? Yeah, that's what I'm dealing with right now. So they're very easily manipulated to attack because they are not related to me. Yeah. No, her mother was in the home earlier. Yeah, but she had a weapon on her, so we are discharging the mother first, of which has just happened, and then the female is going to be discharged immediately thereafter, within a 20-minute time frame. I walked in, the weapon was on the ledge, the wall ledge by the front room. It was there. It was a double needle. Yeah, it was a double needle, double nail, double nail. Yeah, plank wood, double nail. No, she performed as Mary J. Blige. Let me see if I can find her photo there. But she performed as Mary J. Blige. And that was earlier this week, actually. Yeah, she performed as Mary J. Blige. Yeah. As her in the black outfit, she's the one that's being transferred right now. And the one that's coming in is the one in the blue outfit. Yeah. So the one in the black outfit, yeah, the one in the black outfit, which is on the bottom far right, she is the one that's being transferred. The one in the blue outfit, which is this outfit right here, she's the one that's coming in right now. The one in the white is coming on Saturday, and the one in the red gold is coming on Sunday. So I will be seeing all four of these this weekend. Yeah. Do they have the second one there? Okay. The second one of Move It Out, because that's not what they said, as the Sevians times two, and now Max from Two Broke Girls. The first one 2 Sundays ago who told me that I stole her clothes was Caroline. That was Caroline, that was confirmed early. This one 6:22 a.m. this morning, that was Max. Two Broke Girls. The one that I'm more concerned about is the one that I saw at Dollarama, who is related to Max. Yeah, I sent her father and her grandfather in. Yeah, they arrived the same time that I was actually headed out because I didn't stay in the store. Yeah, By the way, folks, please remember that the Hamilton Skyway Bridge is closed off and it is closed off for a 1 year repair that may close off the bridge entirely to permanently. Please remember that the Hamilton Skyway Bridge is closed off and it is closed off for an entire year to 365 days and it is closed off for repair. It could lead to a permanent closure, yes. The Hamilton Skyway Bridge, it could lead to it being permanently closed. The repairs could lead to the Hamilton Skyway Bridge being permanently closed. I usually, when it comes to me personally, I deal with business functionings, such as the Hamilton Skyway Bridge, and I also deal with personal financing. I don't deal with Intel personal business factor. That's where Lauren Stewart comes in. She deals with Intel business factors. And Jean Reed deals with human connectivity in the form of business functions. Yes, and Leanne Ponto deals with the apparels as in property management in business functions. Yeah, that's Leanne Ponto. She's property management. I'm the mom, it's broken, can you fix it type of business person. Basically, mom, it's broken, can you fix it? They call me. Mom, I need a new truck. The truck smells like it's smelling of hot wire and smoke. Yes, you need a new truck. Mom, I need a new phone. The phone has no backing. Okay, you need a new phone. I have to wait. Can we get it? No, he needs a new phone. He just got a new phone. His first paycheck in, he bought a new phone. Yes, my son's first paycheck in, he bought a new phone. I followed suit and bought myself this phone. Whenever my stuff is broken, they never know what to do because I fix it when it's broken. They never know what to do when my stuff is broken. I'm usually the one fixing it when it's broken. They every time it's like, huh? I'd never know what to do when my stuff is broken. Never. He's in the house, but the boy's not in the house yet. So Todd's gonna drop home the boy then, I guess. Yeah. Todd's gonna drop home the boy. He's in the house. Someone else dropped him off. So Todd's gonna be dropping off the boy later on this evening. Yeah, Todd Headley. Yeah, Todd Headley, he's gonna drop off the boy. He's gonna pick him up from the Windsor garage, which means he's on his way there now, and he's gonna pick up the boy. Yeah, yeah, he's in the house. I am calling weapons discharge, which would be a belt and force being used to attack me. Yes, I am calling weapons in charge, weapons involved, belt. Because I refuse to lose my vocal cords and I keep reporting people to the police. So I am reporting a belt as a weapon that is going to be used by one of these females pretending to be my father today. Now, earlier today, I saw one of the many astronauts who is trying to claim that Jesus Christ does not exist on the planet. And I believe he's the one that's insinuating the weapons assault with the belt. Was wearing blue shorts, black top, and I saw him at Hillcroft and Steele's as I was returning. Former astronaut, don't care, but that's who I know you as. You want to know what I heard when I was walked in the store? I heard someone say, "Don't call code nothing. Wait until Max or Caroline breaks in on her again." Han, that's what I said. That's what I heard. Don't call code nothing. I even asked him myself, what's the code? Why you're calling me down here? I asked him myself, what's the code? Not even 2 seconds after, he said, don't call code nothing. Wait until either Max or Caroline breaks and enters. That's what I heard. Talking to Zoo Taiho upstairs about letting people in this house. Zoo Taiho. Well, right now he's on the main floor in the kitchen, but I'm talking to him, Zoo Taiho, about opening that garage door and letting people in. Zoo Taiho. Beyonce on the Run 2 tour. What are you running from? Why are you coming to me pretending to be Jon Stewart? What are you running from coming to me pretending to be Jon Stewart? What do you think I'm going to help you escape? You attacking me and telling me I can't have this and I can't have that. Pretending to be Jon Stewart. First off, what I'm trying to do is get the UN National Army to clear off the property of those who do not belong on the property on a daily basis. That's what I'm trying to do, beginning procedure. Clear off the property. I did this when Kelroy Lewin left. As my mom, she trained me how to do it. I did it with Lynette Henderson Shaw when she left, and now I'm doing it with Belly Gillingham, clearing off the property with the UN National Army of people who do not live, but yet they permeate the property with their problems, telling me who I'm not. UN Army will be involved the entire summer in keeping the property clear. The UN Army will be involved. Now, usually when something doesn't happen right away, it's because I haven't made the call for it to happen. I have to wait for progressive response in order to fulfill the payment first, in order to be able to make the call for the UN National Army to be involved. I can't just call the UN National Army and not pay them for them to do the work. I have to pay them first, and then I can call the UN National Army. Yes, so that's what I was waiting on yesterday, was for the payment to go through Scotiabank in order to register the UN National Army call. They will protect me, yes, but they need to live. They are people. They're not protecting me for free. They need to live. Now, would these people do it for free with them knowing who I am? Yes, they would. But I'm not letting them be forced to live for free. No. I want them to work to earn. So I pay them. The money that I get in this music thing, it's not just to buy my skincare and makeup. I pay the people that protect me and I pay them very well. So if you're complaining about a unit officer not responding when you've made the call to 911, I can see why you haven't paid them financially to respond. And they have the right to say no. They absolutely have the right to say no if you have not paid them to respond when you call 911. They have the right to refuse you service. You have to pay them in order to receive proper service. You at this point in the game with me, you don't want the city paying them. 6 years in this game, the threat has leveled, and I need to make sure that it's not the city paying them because they have to do everything by legal to the city. I don't want them doing anything by legal to the city due to the fact that the threat and the positioning of the threat has changed. And when the positioning of the threat has changed, the city is no longer involved because the city themselves doesn't even know how to handle this type of threat that I'm going through. The city doesn't know how to handle it. The city is only set up to literally respond to phase 1 threats, which means no one is in the consoling office right now because there is no longer any more phase 1 threats because it's not being repeated. This is a phase 4 threat. The city cannot be involved in a phase 4 threat because they have not been trained to be involved in a phase 4 threat. They have not been trained to do so. So if you don't pay for your protection, you are not going to be protected in a phase 4 threat. In a phase 1 threat, yes, the city must protect you. But in a phase 4 threat, the city does not have the legal right to protect you because they do not have the finances to pay for a phase 4 protection threat order. That comes out of your own pocket. I have studied this with Joe Biden. Joe Biden said, and he has searched in every country worldwide, that with a phase 4 threat, the pay comes out of your own pocket. That is why some people win the presidency and why some people lose the presidency. It's because they do not have the money in order to connect with a phase 4 threat order payout. You need to have the money to connect in with security to protect you in a phase 4 threat. And thus far, Bill Clinton is the only person that has had enough finances to continue through all the way to a phase 7 threat. He decided to bow out of another race because the pay for him would be financially worthless. He's paying for more, but they can't respond because he's been 7 times over. He's been the president of the United States 7 times over. So he'll be paying but not getting the right protection that he paid for. So that's why Bill Clinton decided not to run anymore. I came into play when Bill Clinton was running in his phase 4 threats. That's when I came to Canada. I was 1994. Bill Clinton was running his phase 4 election. Bill Clinton was running his phase 4 election in 1994. It wasn't until 1997, 1998 that Bill Clinton was publicly declared the President of the United States. He ran 3 times for presidency. He won all 3 times because he had the finances. Now, when it came to phase 7, that was phase 6, that's when he said no more. Cost too much, risk even greater. Cost too much, risk even greater. The risk just to protect himself, to go outside for a walk in the park, is even greater being told he can't sit on a park bench. Being told you can't sit on a park bench, the risk is even greater. This is it for me. Phase 4, being told you can have this and have that, which is even greater than where you started. This is where the phase ends for me. I'm not putting my life on running more than literally the 4 phases because it's too great of a risk. It's it's not that I don't have the finances for it. I have the finances for it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it. But the risk of the protection, the risk of the threats. Do I have the money to pay for the protection? Yes. Is the cost going up much higher? Yes. It's going up much higher. However, the danger is even stronger than what it was at phase 1. And here's what I have seen with the danger at the phase 1 threat. It's easy to be the learner. It's easy to be the study case. In a phase 4 threat, you have no one to study from. You have no one to learn from. So you're doing this solely by the ears of the drum. And that is too great of a risk. That is too great of a risk doing this solely by the ears of the drum. It's not going to fit very well in my books, no. I'm already back in school. For anyone that has run into the presidency, The preference is for you to continue to be educated. Anyone that has run for presidency in any format, the preference is due to the fact of the law changing. It's preferred for you to be continually educated in government functions in order to know the legal law and where the law changed in the earlier state when you are not involved in being legally an attorney in the form of running for any portion of U.S. statutory. Because the law changes all the time. Because not every human being is the same, and human beings help to procreate the law. And with new birth, the law changes after the age of 5 years old, and the human survives to the age of 10. The law changes pertaining to that form and that human. And so the law must change to pertain to them. It usually depends on the finances that they have when they are birthed, and we already know their level and lifestyle and their skill. So that depends also on how long they plan on working to earn and how much they make when they are done working to earn. Because when the mother is pregnant with the child is already being evaluated financially beginning at the doctor's office, which is why the pregnancy and the doctor's office visit is very important because that helps us to calculate the child's knowledgeability and information in the productiveness of their birth. He said I can go for a walk. Do I need your permission to go to the bathroom too? Now, what I study in law as a adult who has run for the presidency, whether I've won or lost, what I study in law school is the continuing change of those who are coming in, even in just the primary race to the preliminary races of governing factor. I go to law school to get the legal rights to continue to study them in the form of human philosophy in order to know how to avoid them or know how to keep and connect with them without causing harm around them. That's exactly what I'm trying to find out. Who in the governing act is telling the people to pretend to be my father in order to tell me I can't keep used furniture, yet they've known for years that I've always procreated my home with used furniture. That's what I'm trying to find out is who is in the governing field is doing that. That's what I'm trying to find out. Who in the governing field is doing that? Because for decades, I've been allowed, and I'm 46 years old. I've lived on my own since I was 21 years old. So for the last 30 years, I've been living on my own. And I've been using used furniture, and someone is going to tell me after 30 years of saving money on used furniture in government that I have to buy his way or her way? I've been buying used furniture for 30 years, beginning at the age of 21. 30 years. The age of 21, 30 years I've been buying used furniture. So, ooh, in the governing field is telling them to tell me to move it out, knowing that I've been doing this for the last 30 freaking years of my life. Who in government is doing that? After listening to the tapes this morning while I was doing that, I've only realized that it's coming from a government force. So, who is the government force that is trying to change my aptitude to tell me that I need to purchase new furniture? 30 years. I have been doing this for 30 years. 30 years, which means my family has been doing this for 75 decades. 30 years for me. My family has been following my recipe for 75 decades. And now you want to change my recipe in order to appease to you that you said go spend some money? Don't you think the damage would have been caused to the wall if the furniture was new as well? If the furniture was new, don't you think that the damage would have been caused to the wall with also a new furniture? Is it the old furniture that caused the damage? Can a new furniture cause the same damage? Yes. So it's not the furniture that's the problem. You want to change the consonants of a recipe that's been working not only for 30 years for me, but 75 decades for my family. 75 female Knowles have been following this recipe and it has succeeded its way back to what they've learned from me to do. 75 female Knowles have been doing this. And this is the first time in 75 decades attaching itself to me that someone is trying to change the concept to tell me I need to buy new furniture and put the same damage in the wall with new furniture. Same damage. Because that makes so much more sense to put the same damage in the wall getting the new furniture delivered. I'll go for that walk now.